The mechanic in this interview has been my mechanic for 5 years. On many occasions, he could have easily sold me a more expensive option. He never did. His communication and honesty are top-notch. He has 2 locations, one in Brookhaven, Georgia, and one in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
What is your job title?
Well, I am the owner of this shop, yes.
And how many years experience do you have?
A little bit over 40 years.
Do you have any qualifications?
Is a master technician, associate in arts in computer engineering.
And is there anything else you want me to put in your description in the video?
Well, pretty much, I fill up every position, from cleaning to whatever. Sometimes I run the business. Sometimes I am a mechanic. Sometimes I change oils. Sometimes I clean, whatever it takes.
Question 1. When does a recommendation become a scam?
Well, that is kind of difficult, but I would say, especially when you have kind of like a new vehicle and they ask you to do a lot of work in it. And I'm not saying all the dealers are bad, but I bought my daughter a new vehicle. The dealer offered her one free oil change. When she came for her free oil change, they wanted to sell her over $1,000 in services that I knew she did not need. That was a scam. You don't have to spend over $1,000 every time you go for an oil change, especially if the car only had 5,000 miles.
Do you have any guidance for normal people to help them avoid being scammed?
Always try to ask questions, and if you have some sort of a problem, try at least a couple of places, two or three places. The more you're going to see that somebody is not going to be kind of like square with what they tell you.
If my brake pads have 33% left on them, do I need to replace them?
Not right away, but you're getting very close. So that means that in the short future, you better be getting ready to replace your brake pads. And in today's vehicles, if they tell you need the rotors, the discs, more than likely, yes, you do, because that's something you do need in today's vehicles. Brake rotors are so thin that by the time your brake pads are gone, you're also going to need brake rotors. So don't take that as a scam. That's pretty much the way it is today.
So if I brought a car to you that had a P0455, what would you do?
Number 1, have to verify the P0455. Number 2, look around for the most common problems, which could be hoses that could be broken. If I was not able to find that, then I would have to do a smoke test. Use my smoke machine, and more than likely, if there's a physical problem, the smoke machine will be able to detect it. Now, still doesn't mean that with the smoke machine I'm going to be able to find that problem. Sometimes you have electrical valves or electrical components that can give you that type of a code, and if they're not failing at the time that you're checking, you will never find it until that component fails.
Right, so if it's intermittent,
it's going to be a lot trickier, yes.
What percentage of mechanics do you think are honest?
Trying to answer that question is like saying what percentage of people are honest, as that is something more personal, because then I will have to ask myself how many lawyers are honest, how many doctors are honest, how many this or the other are honest. It's something very random, has to be with the person itself.
Are your mechanics paid on a salary or a flat rate?
No, my mechanics are paid on a salary.
Do you think dealerships are more honest than independent shops?
The one problem with dealers is most people that work at the dealer, especially in the service area, their payment is based on commission. So the more they sell, the more money they make. So if they can bring up your bill from $100 to $2,000, definitely they're going to make more money. So it's something that sometimes works against the customer.
Do dealers get paid less for warranty work?
Yes, they do get paid less for warranty work, yes.
Okay, and what about recalls?
Also, just same as warranties, recalls, they also get paid less.
Can customers rely on reviews to find an honest mechanic?
Yes, I believe it is a very important tool, because reviews are not made by the mechanic or the shop. It's randomly made by people that had their experience here or there, and they're the ones that bring the reviews. So I would say yes, reviews are very important, regardless whether it's a repair shop or wherever you go, trying to see how trustworthy is a business.
Do you have any advice on how shops can get less one-star reviews?
Try to be honest with the customer, and let them know. Sometimes you go through situations where you cannot really find a problem, or you find something. Let's say, for instance, somebody comes for brakes. Say that you need to do your front brakes right away, but maybe your rear ones can hold for another 6 months. Tell them what they have and let the customer decide depending on your recommendation. That's pretty much it. And that goes for any kind of job that they have in the cars.
How can customers avoid being scammed?
You can find so much information online. If you have some type of problem, go online, even YouTube. It will tell you the possibilities according to the symptoms that you have. So at least you have an idea of what the problems could be. If the repair shop is telling you something completely different, or something just to make you spend more money, you know something is not right.
How do you handle situations where the customer has a problem, but you're not sure as to the cause, like an intermittent problem?
Well, number one, I try to first I'm going to try to rule out every possibility. And sometimes say that it's a check engine light. I will tell them, number one, that I'm going to reset and let them drive the car until that light comes back on. Maybe it'll narrow down to less possibilities. But if I can't really tell, I'll tell them, listen, I believe it's between these two or three things. You have to try the first possibility first.
If there's nothing noticeably wrong with my car, am I safe just to follow the maintenance schedule?
Correct, yes. If there's nothing wrong, doing your maintenance. The most important service in any vehicle, regardless of whether it's new or old, is the oil change. That is the most important service. And that's something you should not delay. When time comes to do oil change, do your oil change. And then, of course, there are other services that are not as frequent as that. The one that will give you a big problem if you don't is your oil change. It doesn't cost much, but it's very important.
My recent test, I modified my gas cap to set off a P0455. Do you think that is a good test to see if a mechanic is honest in it?
When I can't really find a problem, but I see that the gas cap is not sitting properly, the first thing I'm going to say is replace your gas cap and try to do with an original one, because sometimes the ones that you buy at an auto parts store, sometimes it doesn't work properly, and you will still have the problem. So fuel cap is what, $10 or something like that. I believe it's worth trying that before you go into big diagnosis repairs or having to replace something that costs a lot of money. Gas cap is number one place to start. 90% of the time, the gas cap is a problem.
What is the best way to find a new mechanic?
Ask your friends, ask people that you know in the area, somebody you can rely on. I'm quite sure there's going to be a lot of people that you can ask, and they'll tell you where they go, and they'll even give you reasons why they go. So that is the best way of finding out the type of service you need.
Okay, thank you for your time, Roger.
Sure.
Here we go, my friend. Here we go. No, you didn't want to be paid, but here you go, sir.
I guess I have free lunch for the guys today.
Perfect.